That's the video everybody's been talking about since yesterday, and tonight we're learning more about what happened inside that car dealership in Sandy yesterday after a car smashed through the front doors.
On purpose. This was the customer's response after police say he was angry that he was not getting his money back from a car purchase earlier in the day.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Most people in the automotive space would have probably heard by now or come across the situation at a Tim Daly dealership in Sandy, Utah, where a customer not apparently, but a customer drove his newly purchased vehicle through the showroom, highlighting significant issues in customer service management, emotional response, and customer protection. I'm already giving my verdict that this dealership failed going beyond the customer's expectations. I will explain why, but before I dive in, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you have to go before the end of this particular episode, please hit that thumbs up button. The algorithm will really appreciate you for it. To understand the key issues, let's take a look at our first feature from KUTV2 News in Salt Lake City. Take a look at this.
That's the video everybody's been talking about since yesterday, and tonight we're learning more about what happened inside that car dealership in Sandy yesterday after a car smashed through the front doors.
On purpose. This was the customer's response after police say he was angry that he was not getting his money back from a car purchase earlier in the day.
Krista McPeak spoke with the dealership manager about how it all turned out.
I'm outside of Tim Daly in Sandy, the Mazda here. You can see there is some damage on the outside of the building, but it's really hard to see. Now, inside, it was a complete mess. I have arrest documents from police right here in my hand, and that details what led up to this confrontation.
It was a massive explosion. It sounded like a bomb went off.
Tyler Slade manages this Tim Daly Mazda in Sandy. Video shows the moment a driver drove his newly purchased car through the front of the building.
Whoa!
According to arrest documents, Michael Murray was upset. He wanted his money back for a car he purchased earlier in the day.
We were sympathetic to finding him a vehicle that would fit his limited budget.
And Slade said he agreed on this one after they told him,
And this is not a car that we have inspected, but it fits your budget, and we're going to sell it on a wholesale market. But if this is something you would like to buy,
after agreeing,
he was fine with that and signed all the documents.
hours later, Murray was back,
The emotion of the customer was just too high.
demanding his money. Slade says they tried to talk with Murray. Then, this. Sergeant Greg Moffitt with Sandy Police has worked in the field for over 20 years.
I've never seen anyone get to a point of frustration with a business that they drove it intentionally through a business.
How miraculous is it that no one got hurt in this?
I was real surprised when I saw the video. The first thing that I thought of was that's crazy, and then two, like I couldn't believe that.
He said by crashing the car into the dealership, it made things a lot worse.
One of the things that I've noticed throughout my career is there's a lot of things, a lot of cases, a lot of incidents that can be avoided by exercising some patience.
And for Slade,
Dealerships really want to do right by the customer, including solving emotional situations where if you want to bring the car back, great, we'll bring the car back. We're not here to force you to buy a car you don't want to buy.
It would seem the customer complaint handling is far different now than work in the dealership back in the days. And we had a lot more empathy, but more so we had interpersonal skills, which were vital in customer service, whether internal or external. I find now society just focusing on closing the sale and making a profit. And that's where we are right now. Michael Murray's that's the name of the customer. His frustration stemmed from the perceived non-disclosure of issues with the car that he purchased. And this is a common complaint, especially when purchasing used car. The dealership claimed they offered solutions, as you hear in here, including a refund. A breakdown in communication likely amplified the tensions. So there seemed to be a lack of clear, undocumented offers like a refund agreement in writing, which could have escalated the situation. Now, this will have have lasting emotional impact on employees and customers who were there to witness this. Employees described the event as terrifying, indicating a serious safety risk. As a matter of fact, so incidents like this can lead to trauma and decreased morale in the workplace. Now, we're going to make an assessment of the dealership's actions, but we're going to take another look at another video, hearing what the customer, the main actor in this particular scenario, has to say.
The showroom of a Sandy car dealership yesterday is out of jail.
And he is giving his side of the story. News specialist Debbie Worthen spoke with him tonight. Debbie, what does he have to say?
Well, he is emotional tonight. So he told me he realized just hours after purchasing that used car that it had problems that he didn't feel like were disclosed to him at the time of sale. And he said he wanted his money back, and losing that money was the final blow in what he describes as a year of being knocked down and told no.
This video of Michael Murray crashing his newly purchased car through the showroom is not something he's proud of.
I know me crashing into that car, into that building was wrong.
But Murray says he is drained emotionally, mentally, and financially.
I'm tired of being here and trying to be a productive member of society just to keep getting knocked down and get told no.
Employees inside the Tim Dolly dealership say these moments caught on video were terrifying.
Well, I'm going to drive this car right through the front door. And you don't need to do that. Tried to calm him down again, but there was no talking him off the ledge per se. It's terribly frightening.
They say Murray had bought a used as-is car in the morning and came back emotionally charged, saying it was giving him problems and wanted his $4,000 back immediately. The dealership says they tried to work with Murray on options, including giving him a refund. Murray says that's not true, but still he regrets his actions.
I'm not the only person that's going through stuff in life. And maybe like my story getting out there of struggles will help someone else that's struggling not to do what I did.
Now, Murray faces several charges, including one felony charge. He has court tomorrow. He says he knows he has dug himself a financial grave at this point, but he said he wanted to share his story in hopes that others don't feel alone as they're trying to struggle and make it through life. I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, pretty brave of him to come out after this whole situation, actually speak what he believes and how he's feeling right now. All right, Debbie, thank you.
Yeah, that's more than a financial grave he has dug himself. And he has dug himself along with others who will be joining, remembering this experience for a very long time. But here's what actually went wrong in my estimation. An inadequate resolution of customer grievances in real time led to extreme actions right here. Again, from my experience, this could have been improved by establishing clear protocols for customer complaints, including same-day resolutions, transparent refunds, or a vehicle replacement policy, so to speak. So you notice the first report had only the dealership, so it's always good to get both perspectives. Now we hear from the customer, and the customer finally took accountability for his behavior, but only after the full force of the law. Then he now realized that his temporary stroke of insanity led to total mayhem and destruction. He could be looking at civil cases from both customers and employees. And Murray, he admitted that his actions were wrong, but justified his emotional state due to financial and personal struggles. Now, while valid, these doesn't excuse danger in others, and this event only underscores the need for stress management resources and legal avenues for customer disputes. But the law doesn't care, especially towards us men. So many men walk around with insurmountable burdens with no help or avenue to get it fixed. You notice the police officer in the first video here smiling, giving his take. It was with pleasure to carry out his job on the customer right now. So we're on our own, gentlemen, if you're watching in numbers. Meanwhile, there's so many help assistance grants that are available for women. Now, if a woman did this, I'm not saying to make the big comparison, then you'd be hearing the excuses they'll be forthcoming saying and that she would have been taken away to a trauma center almost immediately. And then a lot of people will actually come to her assistance saying something else would have caused this, but not so much for the men. what are the alternatives and the best way forward in a situation like this? So apart from the routine transparent vehicle condition reports, dealerships should make it mandatory to offer third-party inspection reports with every used car sales, and that was one of the things that was missing. So customer felt cheated that he didn't have all the information. This particular dealership and others watching should now have proactive complaint resolution where they can create an de-escalation process for unresolved complaints, including a dedicated staff for dispute resolution. Mind you, it depends on the size of the dealership. So you're going to have repeated crisis management training to equip the necessary employees to de-escalate these kinds of situations safely. And they can collaborate as well with the local security professionals to ensure that the staff and customer safety during high stress incidents like these are handled differently. Right now we're living in tumultuous times where people are just fed up with basically everything that's going on around them, and we're just stressed and frustrated, and more than ever before now with all the economic uncertainty that is surrounding us. Not all customers will do their homework, so you have to remember that even with the abundance of information out there that is available at your fingertips, some still won't verify the vehicle condition before they purchase it, or insist on a comprehensive inspection or even a test drive. So some won't go even as far as try to understand the dealership's return or exchange policy in writing if there exists one. There are legal help in disputes where customers can file complaints to local consumer protection agencies rather than resorting to drastic measures such as this one. In some jurisdictions, one can even consult small claims court for financial disputes. Unfortunately, here in the West, broader consumer protection recommendations are often sought from governments to implement stricter regulations on used car sales, including mandatory disclosures of known defects. Another thing I can recommend is to encourage mandatory cooling off periods where customers can return cars without the penalty within a short time frame. Being told something else often illustrates the systemic gaps in customer service and emotional resilience, both at the individual and the corporate levels. But addressing these can prevent such extreme outcomes and foster trust and relationships between the customers and the buyers. We have to learn to understand the process and to make it mandatory for everyone in the automotive space, especially working at the dealership level, that we have to address customer complaints with empathy early, and it can prevent escalation into a hostile behavior. Now, during my time, I was taught that quality experience will go beyond the customer's expectations, giving the customer the joy of owning and making you the standard and making all of us true to society, all a part of the cycle of giving back. Whatever happened to the customer is always right. That went through the window as well. But we're seeing symptoms of a broader perspective being played out right here in the showroom of yet another dealership. But as it goes, they're just going to pick up the pieces, and hopefully everyone will learn from this going forward. As usual, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to grab a copy of my ebook, The Parts Manager Guide. Please smash that like button on your way out. It will only take you 1.5 seconds to do so. Until next time.